Take one.
Hey. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Fry. I am a nursing student, and today I'm conducting an interview about sleep habits, about your sleep patterns. Any of these questions, if you don't want to answer them, that's totally fine. If you want a clarification on a question, they're just kind of to guide the conversation. They're just some questions that I came up with. That's basically it. The purpose of this first interview is not to guide any kind of change in behavior. It's just to kind of get an idea of what your
Sure.
sleep pattern is, what your sleep routine is. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Meg.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Your gender?
I'm a female.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about yourself demographically? There's nothing else that I would be collecting.
No.
Okay. First question. Can you describe your process for falling asleep?
Right now, I typically will do a lot of looking at my phone before going to sleep, and I also have medications I take
Okay.
before sleep to actually help with sleep. So, it's typically like doom scrolling on the phone
Mhm.
until I feel tired enough to take my medications and have them help me actually fall asleep.
Okay.
There's also typically weed involved, THC,
Mhm.
to help with relaxing and getting into that sleep state.
Okay. Is that every night, or is that
That's
when you
every
have-
night.
when you have problems sleeping?
That's every night. I have
Okay.
problems sleeping every night.
Okay. Well, then you're a good person to ask then.
I
'cause then-
literally was like, why,
there's
why are you
more-
asking me?
Where are you coming from me? There's more to.
I'm like, okay, so
there's-
I'm mentally ill and have problems sleeping. What's up with
there's
that?
plenty to talk about.
Yeah,
Are your medications prescribed to help you sleep, or
They
are
are.
they something
They're
that you?
prescribed.
Okay.
Other than the weed. The weed is self-prescribed, but I have prescription drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has this been? Have you needed medication?
I have been on and off medication since almost 10 years. Almost 10 years I've been
Okay.
on and off medication, yeah.
Has that been specifically for helping sleep, or is that for other things? And sleeping is part of that.
It started as wanting help for sleep, and it's become more that my sleeping is a side effect of greater health, like mental health issues,
Okay.
depression
I see.
specifically.
Did you want to share specifically the medications, or?
Sure,
Okay.
if that's helpful for you, I
Sure.
don't care. I take trazodone,
Trazodone.
and with that I take 100 milligrams, actually excuse me, 50 milligrams
Okay.
every night. And I also take lamotrigine at night, and I take 150 of that.
Okay. Is the intention that you would need this forever, or is it in the process of?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping to actually get reevaluated soon, in hopes to come down off of this
Okay.
concoction I'm on.
Are there effects of the medication that you feel like affect your sleep besides just helping you sleep?
I definitely think that there are times that I feel the effects if I don't have enough hours of sleep. I still feel the effects afterwards. Like if I were to get 6 hours of sleep, I still feel the drowsiness or almost slowness during the rest of the day still.
Okay.
Or it makes me feel like I need to sleep 10 plus hours sometimes,
I see. When do you feel tired during the day?
at all times.
Okay. And what do you do as a response to that?
Caffeine. I'll use caffeine in the morning. Typically something like tea or, basically tea. That's what I've been sticking to, like matcha,
Okay.
yerbas, that kind of stuff.
Was that as a response to having more caffeine in the morning, and then you switched to something weaker, or?
So I used a lot of coffee,
Mhm.
like espresso, and it was become very acidic. So I would just get acid reflux.
I see.
And so now I just dropped because coffee's really acidic. So that was more of a digestive thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was a barista, I think the self-disclosure is fine. I think one of the things like not being a mysterious,
Yeah.
like curtain person.
Yeah.
When I was a barista, I like drank coffee a lot more than I do normally,
Mhm.
just because I could make it for myself whenever I want.
Yeah.
Did you have that problem being a barista as well?
Yeah, I mean, I would make myself sometimes multiple coffees in a day, and that's definitely too much for my own regulation.
Okay.
So I've been able to set that boundary with myself being a barista now, but yeah.
Moving on to the third question, can
Sure.
you describe how caffeine and alcohol, if you drink it, affect your sleep?
I do not drink alcohol. It messes with my medications too much, and I don't like the smell, taste, or vibe that it gives me. But caffeine does not have the normal effect on my sleep. Sometimes it has the opposite, where I feel like if I have some caffeine in the morning and I'm still in that like state of grogginess, I'm able to fall back to sleep. This can stay in or not. I'm pretty sure I'm actually ADHD and I'm just
Okay.
on the wrong medications. But that's within my own self-diagnosis.
Yeah. I felt the same way too, where I'm like, I feel like caffeine has the opposite effect.
Yeah, I'm like, it kind of makes me go to sleep and calm down sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't really do anything unless I like take like a lot of it, like it's like a 5-hour energy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't do anything and then I crash.
Yeah, exactly. Or a lot of times if I just have caffeine on an empty stomach, it's the same thing where it's like my body's only reacting to the caffeine and it has no calories, and then I'm like, "Ugh," and then it's
Yeah.
dead. Anyway, that's caffeine for me.
Does your work affect the quality of your timing of your sleep?
Actually not really. I feel like through having this job, I guess then yes, it has. I feel like my sleep cycle has shifted where my body naturally wakes me up around 7 o'clock every day. There's like sometimes where I sleep in, sometimes where I wake up really early and can't fall back to sleep. But I don't. I'm like, write that down. No. But if anything, I feel like it has almost had more of a positive effect because it has made me try to have almost a scheduled sleep, at
Okay.
least on the days that I work.
What do you do to relax?
Smoke weed, play video games.
I'm gonna sneeze, I'm not yawning. Sorry. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Music, watching my videos, and I would say spending quality time with my friends. I know.
That is relaxing.
It is relaxing.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night at all?
Yeah. I would say not as much as I used to since I've been consistently taking trazodone.
Okay.
But before then, I would wake up and be awake
Mm-hmm.
for amounts of time and have trouble falling back asleep.
What did you do when that happened?
I would lay in my brain and hope to God that I fell back asleep with my eyes closed.
So you wouldn't like get on your phone or something?
Sometimes I would, depending on how long I was awake, or like what was going on the next day. I would find that anxiety would lead into some of that if I had maybe something important the next morning or something scheduled earlier than I normally wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a shift that was at 5 a.m. and I had to wake up at 4:30, I wouldn't sleep that night because I'd
Yeah.
just be so anxious about sleeping through an alarm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way too if I had something if I like had something at 4 and I woke up at like 2,
Yeah.
or had like something like that,
Yeah.
which is not uncommon actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how it works. But if I had something like that, then I would be like, oh, if I get to sleep, it's not like worth it to
Yeah.
like sleep that much
Yeah.
versus like just staying up.
Yeah.
Um,
So depending on, I feel like that is exactly how to explain it. It's like
Mhm.
depending on like how much more time I have to sleep would depend on how I respond to being awake somewhere in the middle of the night. So if I like woke up at 2 a.m. but I didn't really have to wake up the next day, I would probably like do some sort of something to get my mind from being as active as it is to being not as active, which would probably be like scrolling on my phone or like taking hits of my weed pen or something like that.
Okay. I kind of asked already if you had medical history related to your sleep and your medications.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff that you wanted to talk about that's in your medical history?
I don't think so. I feel like my like mental health issues are my biggest like medical history.
Okay.
And like it just has stemmed from anxiety really that has effects on my sleep. I'm like
That makes sense.
yeah.
Can you talk about the environment that you sleep in as far as like your room, your temperature, if you have
Mhm.
white noise, that kind of stuff?
Mhm. Yeah, so I sleep with a fan on every
Okay.
single night. So I do have white noise. Blinds are down, but I don't need blackout. I'm okay with sunlight coming in and I can still sleep. Lots of pillows, and typically only one blanket of varying thickness. So cold, I use my big duvet. Hotter weather, I have like a really nice quilt.
Nice.
But yeah, just one blanket. I can't handle more than one blanket.
Mhm.
And I sleep everywhere on the bed. I toss and turn. I sleep sideways. I sleep diagonally. I basically have pillows, so I can just roll and have my head in any direction, and that's how I sleep.
You have like stuffies too, if I remember.
Not really stuffed animals on the bed. It's mostly just pillows.
Okay.
There's stuffed animals in my room as decor.
Mhm.
But yeah, in terms of sleeping, that's basically it.
How long does it take you to get to sleep with the process that you usually have?
Depending on how busy my day was and how much activity I did, it could be like 5 to 15 minutes before I fall asleep, or it could be an hour and a half.
Okay.
So like yesterday, I spent the whole day in the sun at the lake swimming and stuff. I like got home and was tired, like pretty exhausted actually,
Mhm.
and took my medications, and I feel like I was able to fall asleep within 15 minutes.
So the more busy you are, then the faster you go to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't feel like being busy like keeps you awake because you're kind of like revved up, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that it doesn't matter whether it's like you're physically busy, like you're going to the lake and exercising, or you're like mentally busy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, mentally busy. Because I could be laying at home, but very stressed in my mind, and it would feel the same. Where I felt like I'd have to sleep and sleep. Where I do have days like that. I
Okay.
sleep all day long. Like I would say 20 hours.
That's a lot.
I know.
So what are your hours exactly that you go to sleep?
Normal
Mm-hmm.
would be probably 10. Wake up at 7.
Okay.
Somewhere between 10 and 11. Wake up between 6 and 8.
And you sleep all the way through?
For the most part,
Wow.
with the trazodone.
Okay.
Recently, because I've been chugging water, another side effect of a lot of antidepressants is in heat, you are more dehydrated.
Oh.
So I have just felt like I can't get enough water. So recently I've been waking up multiple times to pee.
Okay.
But for the most part, I've had a pretty easy time falling back to sleep after getting up to do that.
Okay.
I would say 8 times out of 10, I'm able to fall right back to sleep. The other 2 times, it probably is within 30 minutes to an hour rather than anything past that.
And before the trazodone, what was your house look like? Was it all over the place?
It was all over the place.
Okay.
So chaotic, like falling asleep at 11 to 2, waking up multiple times until my alarm at whatever time.
Okay. So it'd be really hard to stay asleep.
Yeah.
And also you would not get to sleep very easily.
Yeah.
So how long did you have that kind of insomnia?
It was basically all through college. So for 4.5 years where I kind of was on and off different antidepressants that weren't really helping, and it wasn't until I actually moved to Portland in 2018 that I started taking trazodone, and it actually like put me to sleep, and I'm basically able to stay asleep.
Okay.
Besides if there's some extraneous force.
So
Is that even a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a word.
I was like, that
Extraneous.
didn't sound right coming out of my mouth.
Extraneous is totally a word.
Okay.
Yeah. So if how long has it been since you started taking trazodone?
Since 2018, so 5
Okay.
years.
Okay.
And it has been, there was a period of time that I did not take it. But then basically when the pandemic hit, it was like basically 2019, I just decided I didn't want to take it anymore.
Okay.
And I just slept like shit, and I felt like shit all the time.
Like immediately, or what happened?
I don't remember. That was such a weird time of my life because then the pandemic hit, and then it was even worse.
Okay.
Not necessarily sleep, but just my life,
Okay.
and I feel like a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. It was not good for mental health.
Yeah, no. So I basically, I don't think this has anything to do with anything, but I'll just share with you as being a friend. I had like a mental breakdown and had to like move in with my parents.
Oh,
And
compared
I was-
to,
It doesn't matter.
You
You
went
can
back
use this.
to-
You can use this if you
I'm
want.
not using
Oh,
it.
okay.
You went back to not Eugene. No,
Sisters.
You're from that place east of Seattle. I forgot.
Oh, Spokane.
Spokane. Yeah.
Yeah. So first, actually, my parents were living in Sisters.
Okay.
Weirdly enough,
I don't know where that is. Is that
it's
Oregon?
by Bend.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small town. But then we all moved up to Spokane because we just had family there and
Okay.
pandemic and whatever. But yeah, then I was remedicated at that point. And so I got back on trazodone, and that's when I got on lamotrigine, and I also take Prozac right now.
Okay.
But Prozac doesn't really do anything for sleep. That's supposed to more be serotonin. Isn't that an SSRI?
Yes.
Yep.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah.
I'm like 98% sure. I should know what my medications are.
I should know too, like if that's an SSRI, because those are like.
You can make a mental note, just make a
Okay.
note in there and look it up.
I'll look it up.
But
Um,
yeah.
Have you tried to change your sleep habits in the past? Outside your medication, in terms of like
Yeah,
changing your
that's
environment?
what I was trying to think of. Yeah, I feel like I did in the way that I had a very consistent work schedule, and it wasn't at the coffee shop, but it was a consistent work schedule in that I worked, I think I started at like 10 or 11 every day. So because I had this like set schedule where I was like needing to be there at 10 or 11, it was like every night I was like able to fall asleep by 11 and like be up by 8, and it just like worked that way. So definitely having a structured schedule helps me keep a structured sleep cycle, or sleep pattern, sleep schedule.
What kinds of things do you deliberately stay up for?
I would say kind of similarly to things that relax me. It would be if I have something going on that's providing me quality time with my friends is a big one that I would stay up and want to spend more time with them. I would also equally say video games if I get super into what I'm doing and watching videos and shows. Other than that, wait, will you rephrase the question again?
What do you do? Like, what makes you deliberately stay up?
Oh, deliberately stay up. Yeah, I'd say those things is like friends, video games, watching videos, or movies or TV shows or whatever.
Okay. When you, I wrote down like how do you feel after that, but what I was trying to get at was like when you stay up for something that you mean to stay up for, do you feel like you rest well after that?
It depends on whether or not I have something going on in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if I had a responsibility where I had to be up in the morning and I had like chose to stay up later than my body is normally used to, I would feel like trash the next day.
I see.
And I just like it's the same where I feel a little more sluggish. Probably would take a nap that day, honestly. But if I feel like if it was the other case scenario where I purposefully stay up late, but then I'm able to let my body have the amount of rest that it wants and needs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, I go to sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 10 or something.
Yeah.
I feel more neutral rather than groggy and negative, where it's just like I'm waking up and I'm gonna have a normal day.
Okay.
And it's just later in the day than before.
Gotcha. How satisfied are you with the sleep routine from 1 to 10?
I would say that I'm not satisfied. It's not consistent enough,
Okay.
but that's also on my own choices. Like traveling, I feel like whenever you travel, you don't get the same quality of sleep as when you're in your own bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of traveling, and
Outside of going to Spokane, or just that trip?
actually outside of going to Spokane, yeah.
Okay.
I would say since May, I've been going on extra trips that would affect my sleeping schedule pretty greatly.
Mm-hmm.
And like for the rest of the summer, I basically have the same thing going on.
So once summer is over, you think you'll go back to a more regular schedule?
I hope so. But one thing that I've noticed in the winter is I sleep so much more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like hibernating.
Circadian, yeah.
Yep. It's like once it's dark out, I have to be asleep.
I get it.
So there's also that.
When you have to sleep in a place that you normally don't,
Mm-hmm.
what helps you sleep? Because you have like a particular like environment, right? So you said you've been traveling a lot too, so
Mhm.
you're often in places that you're not,
Mhm.
you're that are not home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've added this before, but it's just coming to mind and something that I have done to help me fall asleep is I will listen to, like if I don't have white noise, I'll listen to a playlist on repeat all night long. And so I'll have my headphones in and I'll have music playing
Mm-hmm.
all night while I'm sleeping.
What kind of music?
It's just whatever I'm wanting to listen to.
Okay.
It could be something crazy like Beyonce's Renaissance album,
Mm-hmm.
and that's literally like popping in my ears, or it could be one song on repeat because it's just the song that's making my brain itch the right way.
Okay, so it's not like music that's specifically for sleeping.
No, it's just
It's-
something to keep my brain in a cycle
Okay.
to fall asleep.
Is it something that you're like very familiar with, or is it?
It's like whatever song I'm willing to listen to, really.
Okay.
There's no, like I don't have like a sleep playlist.
Okay.
It's more like whatever is currently something that makes me feel positive emotions,
Mm-hmm.
or at least makes me feel safe, question mark,
Okay,
something like that.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, Do you dream a lot?
Yes.
What affects your dreams? Is it like, does your medication or the weed or something that happened in your day affect your dreams?
Yes.
Okay, just regularly you do dream a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Every night. Vividly. Crazily. Reoccurring. And the dreams honestly for a while were part of the sleep problem, is I was having like nightmares.
Oh.
Because at first with my sleeping problem or trouble sleeping, they just tried to first prescribe a higher level of melatonin to see if that would help me.
Oh.
But melatonin gave me really terrible nightmares, like realistic nightmares of like my parents like telling me that I'm like terrible and like trauma every second of my dream.
That's horrible.
I know. So I was like, I can't take this. So with trazodone, I find that I don't dream. If I do wake up and go back to sleep, I dream then.
Okay.
Or I find that I'm dreaming as I'm waking up in that last however long. Because I almost always wake up and I'm like, I was just dreaming something crazy.
Do you feel like your dreams are what wakes you up? Like something happens in your dream, you're like, you gotta get up?
No.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the doom scrolling and how that helps you sleep? Or how that's part of your routine?
I feel like it's more just mindless stimulants. Doom scrolling for me would be kind of like going through reels
Okay.
on Instagram. So it's kind of like watching videos too, but it's just like weird little snippets of things that are funny or cute or like gross, and I'm like, hee hee ha ha.
Okay, so it's not doom scrolling like.
It's not like I'm not like researching and like,
Yeah.
why am I not sleeping and what is the cause of this and what blah, 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 blah.
When I think doom scrolling, I think like you're watching like Ukraine war stuff or something.
Oh,
like you're watching
no.
like news.
No, doom scrolling for me means I am in this paralyzed state of being on my phone and scrolling and feeling like I have no concept of time, and all of a sudden it's time for me to go to bed because it's actually 2 a.m.
So you're more like watching things that are like mindless and
Yeah.
cute,
Yeah.
like animal stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
literally animal stuff,
Okay.
D&D stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all the questions.
Cool.
Do you have any questions for me?
No,
Okay.
you probably know a lot more about me now, though.
I do know a little bit more about you.
That's fine. I feel
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah, thank you for being honest and open and sharing
Yeah.
this. And I have very little medical background, so definitely, and also as your friend, I would not give you medical advice about anything.
No.
So, I appreciate you being open about that, even without the expectation of getting any
Yeah, no, I don't need
medical assistance.
I feel like I have a very I'm very self-aware of my issues and
Okay.
like what I feel like I need, and some of those needs are being met, and some of them I still need to like advocate for myself, like this misdiagnosis that I've researched and feel I connect to more than just like a severe major depression. Like there's something else going on, and the handful of weird, like I've been on so many different medications trying to see like what's going to calm this like cycle of shit that happens within me, and none of them have helped.
What the butts are you, baby, pooping?
Do you feel like your cat helps you sleep? Or
No,
affects your
she's-
sleep by slapping your face?
She's literally so nasty. There's times where she affects my sleep where she'll meow really early in the morning if she like wants my attention or needs something. But that happens not very often anymore. Like we're very comfortable around each other.
Okay.
I would say like maybe twice a month
Okay.
that could happen.
How long have you had her? I'm gonna turn off this
Um,
now.
I've had her